When you think of an amazing 2D platformer, one of the first that has to come to mind is Super Mario World. And in that game, there were several amazing enemy concepts that were introduced to the Mario series. Because of that, I thought it would be fun to make a list saying the top 5 enemies that were introduced in the game. The enemies on this list won't necessarily be my favorites, but their placements will be based on how unique their concept is, how well they were used in Super Mario World, and the lasting impact that they left on the Mario series. Oh, and by the way, I am open for suggestions for new top 5 or top 10 videos. Be sure to leave any you'd want to see in the comments below. And with that being said, let's get started with the list. For number 5, I chose the Blarg. These guys are pretty rare enemies, so you might not have heard of these ones specifically before, but they are encountered primarily in Vanilla Dome. When you approach a Blarg on a lava lift, they will dip down into the lava and lunge out at you. Yoshi eating them is the only way to defeat them, and spin jumping is one way that could prevent you from taking damage from them. But why did I include these enemies over something like the Monty Mole? There are 2 main reasons. One is that I think it's more unique in terms of what it does, and 2, this Blarg enemy has a ton of species derived from it. While you might not have heard of the Blarg specifically, some of the species derived from this enemy I'm sure you've definitely heard of. Some of the most notorious examples that you might have encountered are the Charvargs, the Magmahargs, and while this isn't in lava, the Sandmahargs. These enemies have all been included in so many games and spin-off titles, like in Mario Party games, and they're all used so well within those. They are very threatening enemies, but they also have a nice design, and they kind of look cool. They fit right into a Mario game style in my opinion. This is why they're number 5 on the list. For number 4, I chose the Wiggler. They seem like a very peaceful enemy. They are yellow and slowly moving when calm, but turn red and run angrily about quickly if they're jumped on. This could make them very scary, especially when there isn't much space for you to avoid them. Their appearance in Super Mario World was amazing, which led them to be included in Super Mario 64, when the Wiggler was given a boss appearance in Tiny Huge Island, leading to a plethora of spin-off title appearances from sports games to party games to kart games. In sports titles, Wiggler is very tall and has a flutter, which could make him a very unique character. In party games, they're always used in very unique ways, which makes me look forward to seeing them in any new Mario Party game. Whether they're used in mini-games or on the actual stage itself, they are always used very well. Because of the lasting impact from their Mario World appearance, this is why they're at number 4. They also have an amazing concept. For number 3, I chose the Mecha Koopa. Now, Mecha Koopas were introduced for Super Mario World, but were only included in the last level of the game. However, they are a very large part of the final boss fight. In the game, they get stopped for a short time when stepped on, so Mario can kick them, pick them up, and throw them. When they get thrown, they won't go very far like regular Koopa shells do, because they only go a limited distance. So that's the concept of the enemy, which is very cool in my opinion. But what about the lasting impact? Well, since Super Mario World, they have been included in many Mario Party mini-games, the Galaxy games, as well as some new Super Mario Bros. Titles. Well, they act in almost the same way as they did in Super Mario World. Another big appearance they make is in Super Smash Bros. With Bowser Jr., as Jr. could deploy them from his clown car at any time, when they could then be squashed and thrown, just like in Mario World. I love the design, concept, and how the Mecha Koopa enemy is used, which is why it's number 3 on the list. Oh, you guys were expecting this one. Coming in at number 2 is the Charging Chuck. One of the enemies associated most with Super Mario World is the Charging Chuck, most likely because it wasn't included in a new title until Super Mario 3D World, where they made a main game appearance once again. It was such a long time since their Super Mario World appearance when they appeared in 3D World, but why would these enemies be brought back? They could have just been forgotten like any other enemy, but the reason they were brought back is because how good of an enemy they were. For those of you who don't know, the Charging Chuck is an enemy that does a variety of things, because in Super Mario World, there are 6 different types of these guys. These types range from ones that throw baseballs to those that fling rocks with a shovel, and they are all so awesome to see. They are difficult to defeat normally as well, because it will take 3 stomps. But if you have the Fire Flower or Cape, it becomes significantly easier and will only take 5 Fireball shots or 1 Cape Swing to defeat the Charging Chuck. In 3D World, they don't have quite as much depth as they did in the original, but they're still fun to see. They would then go on to make appearances in Captain Toad and Mario & Luigi Paper Jam, so these enemies look like they're being brought back. And this is really good because I love these enemies from Super Mario World, and this is why they're number 2 on the list. For number 1, I chose the Mecha Koopa. Mecha Koopas made their debut in Super Mario World, being an incredible concept of an enemy. They mainly appear in fortresses and castles, where they disappear and then reappear and shoot magic at you. Their blasts can turn blocks into coins, and those two elements combine to make them such an amazing enemy. It was realized that this was a cool concept, leading to the introduction of their leader, Kamek, in Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. After this, they would go on to appear in many spin-off and main series titles, and most of the time, the concept of them remains the same. This concept specifically was so amazing that it had to be number 1 on the list, but there are several other reasons for this. It is a decently challenging enemy. Boss fights can be designed around it well, and their transition from anything from a sports game to a party game is so seamless, making them one of the most memorable characters in the whole Mario series. Mecha Koopa could be a great antagonist in a Mario Party game, or it could just be a regular participant in a sports title. The variety of ways that Mecha Koopas can be used in different Mario games is really good for an enemy. Now, certain enemies like the Goomba don't have arms, so it's difficult for them to be included in certain situations, but the Mecha Koopa has a variety of aspects pertaining to it that can make it used in a variety of situations, from just being a general enemy like it is in Super Mario World to a boss fight like it is in some of the new Super Mario Bros. Games. So that's my list. Let me know what you think in the comments, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe to see more. The full playlist of my Mario Top 5s is on the screen if you want to check out more, and if you enjoyed this one, I definitely think you'll enjoy some of my others. Please remember to leave a suggestion for a top 5 or a top 10 that you'd want to see in the comments below. Thanks again for watching.